We see kids, they're 400 pounds and their insurance companies don't pay for nutrition unless they've got diabetes. So they got to keep on eating in order to get diabetes, and then they can get nutrition. It's a real problem. Realistically, the institute has actually been very good to us in that they've given us a nutritionist in our office, which we can utilize in these kids, which is really important. But as a general rule, the insurance companies don't pay for nutrition, even in the kid who's got fatty liver disease. You got to see the size of some of these kids that are coming in.
Oh, yeah, it's
Really
incredible.
bad.
Yes. And then the same thing with mental health. To try to find a PhD in psychology that does cognitive behavioral therapy, either to help someone lose weight or to get over their anxiety, which is what you do when you have anxiety. The Medicaid pays so poorly that they don't take patients and they want cash. And even if you're a upper middle class family, I don't know what it's in Long Island, but here it's 180 to $250 a week to see a psychologist that's good.
That's cheap.
$200 a week when you're a family, that's $800 a month.
No,
That's
no.
a lot of money
In New
for a
York, it's
family.
300 plus 300 plus a session. George, what is that? What you've come across?
They're about 200-300.
And the biggest problem is that, unfortunately, some of these therapists will see these patients week in and week out, and they've
Right.
got no. I tell parents, if you're going to take your kid to a mental health counselor, you sit down with them, you tell them what the purpose of you being there is. If your kid has anxiety because of going to school, that's what we have to deal with. If your kid has got it is got encopresis and they're soiling themselves, you got to deal with that. But we need to have a goal and we need to have a roadmap as to how we're getting there. Not that I'm going to meet with you every week and cut you a check, because
No,
you can go on for a year.
it's a hired friend.
Correct. It's a hired friend. And most of these kids are really good kids. But the problem is that they think everybody else is better than them. And they don't realize that even the cool kid is going through what they're going through. It's just a matter of how they handle it.
Yeah.
Maybe you should
So
become a psychologist.
I
So
am a psychologist.
You probably are.
two things that I learned from the people that really do a lot of mental health and pediatrics is one, you know you have a good therapist when they're leaving the patient homework because that changes their thinking. So CBT is all about
Mm.
giving you ways of coping with whatever's distressing. And homework is how you get there. And the other thing is, they all say it's something between, if you got a good therapist, it's something between 16 to 26 weeks of therapy, and you should be. If you're not better after 26 weeks of seeing the same person, you either have the wrong approach, the wrong therapist, or the wrong diagnosis. This going to therapy for 2 years in a row every Wednesday afternoon, that's for the birds. Grab a glass of wine and a friend and go mope at the bar and go home afterwards. So,
Right. I
but
think,
I
like,
tell parents, if
I
they
could,
want to reel you in for 3 years, you're not getting your money's worth. Get someone else.
but that's what goes on out there,
Oh,
because
of course, of
there's
course.
no, you see, the therapists don't want to succumb to the insurance companies because they're getting paid. And if they go with the insurance, they're not getting paid. And on the flip side, because they don't align themselves with the insurance companies, they've got no oversight. And basically they can see them week in and week out and just keep going. It's a
Yeah.
problem.
You know what my substitute is for nutritionist and CBT psychologist?
What is it?
Physical therapy. Works like magic. I have a pediatric physical therapist that just started, and I send the patients with the diagnosis of chronic pain because they're in pain, and they do core strength exercises and aerobic capacity building for 12 to 16 weeks, and the kids come back and they're happy, and it's the same concept. They go once a week, they leave them homework for exercise at home. They that and the Jim Riley diet, they'll lose 10, 20 pounds.
What's the Jim Riley diet?
The Jim Riley diet is no sugary drinks and no minimum salt. So nothing, no orange juice, no milk, because milk's got a lot of sugar in it. No Gatorade, no high C juice, no, all that gone. No sodas. and decrease the salt.
Interesting. I tell the kids no sugary drinks and no
Bread, white rice. I have a lot of Latino
The
population.
bread's a real problem. Bread's got a ton of bread's a great product designed from when man used to work in the fields. But we don't work in the fields anymore, so we don't need that continuous release of carbohydrates into our system.